Yo, what's up guys? Coach Raul here, bringing you another training video on this channel. And today we got a special training video that's gonna ultimately bring you more clarity and get you going on the right track. So if you're tuning in today for the first time, welcome. My name is Raul. I am a fitness coach in the online space that helps 9-to-5 workers change their body composition in less time. Thank y'all for hanging out, and let's jump into it. All right fam, now today I want to talk about 5 important swaps that you can make on your fat or weight loss journey. And the good thing about these swaps is that they will actually cost you $0, all right? But they will require some effort and you making the right choices moving forward. But I promise, once you do these things and once you make these swaps, you'll be on the right track to better health, and you'll be ultimately losing some weight and changing your body composition. Now, before we start listing out all the things that are gonna be on this list, what I wanna do is just first off, let you know and be straight up with you. My goal is not to make quick fixes in your life. My goal is not to have you spinning your wheels and ultimately running in circles. But what my goal is with you is to help you get on the right track and have sustainable results that you can actually see and that you can actually feel in your body, all right? So, if your goal is not weight loss, and if your goal is not fat loss, but you ultimately want to become healthier, then you can find some options on this list that will help you out and that will bring you some sort of value. So stay tuned and let's get it going. Okay, so as most of you know, we currently live in a world where 70% of Americans are unhealthy, fat, sick, and overweight. And there's many reasons for it. One is lack of exercise. And number 2 is probably gonna be misinformation on nutrition, meaning people don't know what to eat. People don't know what food they should be avoiding. People don't know what food they should be intaking. So that's my job. And number 3 is probably because they are lazy and they don't actually want to get the results that they say they want to get. But like I said, there's many reasons people are overweight, and that's the problem we have in today's society. People are drinking their calories, people are eating their calories, and you know, back then, if you think about it, we didn't have all these sugary drinks. We didn't have Starbucks until probably the 80s or the 90s. Honestly, no, probably the 90s, closer. You know what? I'm not sure, don't even quote me on that. But you get my point. Nowadays, you see people in the Starbucks lines, you see people getting drinks for parties, whether that's alcohol, wine, beer, sodas, juices for the kids, you name it, they are having it. So the first one that you absolutely want to swap out when you're on your fat or weight loss journey is going to be drinks. So we'll write down drinks. So we got drinks down, and when you are drinking, I get it. You know, drinks have plenty of sugar, especially soda. Juices have plenty of sugar, and these ultimately cause you to gain weight without even realizing it. You've been offered since you were young probably to drink soda at parties, to drink juice when you were younger, and honestly, it's not your fault, okay? That's just sometimes the way you were raised. That's just sometimes the way the world works. And like I said, it's not your fault, but you are older now. You can make your own decisions. So one of the swaps that we're gonna start off by making this year, especially if you wanna see results, is going to be swapping out drinks for diet drinks, right? We wanna be aiming for water, preferably. That's gonna be the easiest, obviously. But we can make it fun and we can make it interesting, because I know drinking water is kind of boring. It does get old. So I like to go with some Diet Cokes. I like to go with some vitamin water that have 0 sugar. Or I like to go with some electrolyte drinks. Those are all gonna be great because they are not gonna have any added sugars. They are not gonna be having any added calories, and you can ultimately be saving your calorie intake throughout the day, all right? Now, just by making this simple swap, you can save maybe 150 to 250 calories per day. You know, in the morning, instead of going for the Starbucks drink and getting the mocha frappuccino, you can start by ordering a black coffee or even getting a 0-calorie sweetener to add to your coffee. Those are just some ways you can save calories in the morning, especially if you're going and getting coffee and you need that first thing in the morning. I personally like to just drink black coffee. And then throughout the day, I'll have a water, and maybe for dinner, I'll have a Diet Coke. But other than that, no sodas, no juices, and especially no alcohol, okay? So those are just some swaps that you can start making today. All right, guys, and the next one, super important, something that I like to implement is an after work routine, okay? My after work routine is simply going to the treadmill, and if it's a nice day outside, which most of the time it is, I like to go to the park, whether that's for 30 minutes, whether that's for 45 minutes. It doesn't matter how long, it just actually matters if you're showing up and if you're actually moving your body, all right? So after work routine, instead of coming home, turning on the TV, chilling on the couch, or just simply not doing a damn thing to move progress forward, to drop the weight or to lose that body fat, then something needs to change. You need to be having that after work activity. And if you're not able to go after work, it's okay. Maybe you're someone who's an early bird who likes to wake up early in the morning. Even waking up 15 to 20 minutes earlier before your alarm goes off and going for the walk around your house, around the neighborhood, or if you have a treadmill, going for a treadmill walk, those things and those swaps are gonna be absolute game changer because you're gonna be moving forward. You're gonna be increasing your calories burned throughout the day. And that's gonna allow you not only to see results in the scale, but also see results in the way you feel, right? When you wake up and when you do exercise in the morning, your body releases these hormones, and these hormones are called endorphins, oxytocin. These are feel-good chemicals that your body releases. When these things happen, not only are you feeling good, you're also performing better. Performing better in your relationships, performing better in your workplace, or performing better at the gym when you're doing exercises. So doing an activity outdoors and really just doing an activity that requires your body moving will help you see results that way, all right? So that's number 2. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is going to be, this one's definitely underrated. This is gonna be bad energy. All right, fam, now bad energy is gonna be one of those things that I cannot stress enough about. When you have bad energy in the environments that you're in, it ultimately just brings you bad vibes, right? Like if someone's complaining about, man, it's so hot outside, or man, I'm just so tired today, or man, I just hate when this person does that thing. Those are bad vibes. Those are things that you absolutely want to keep your distance from, okay? Now I know sometimes we have to deal with those things to get through the day. We have to deal with people that come into our lives, but ultimately, for the most part, you can control it. For example, you can control what you listen to on the way to work. You can control what you listen to on your way after work to the gym. Just by you simply switching out different noises in your ear and the things that you see, from the TV that you watch to the social media that you consume, you are in control of these things, all right? So it's easy for you to just swap them out. Maybe put on some motivational stuff, maybe put on some things that are actually gonna uplift you and they're gonna make you wanna move and see progress. Those are the vibes that you want inside your life, and sometimes all it takes is just that extra voice in our head to tell us to, you know, let's go for a run. You know what, let's go grocery shopping. You know what, let's not complain today. You know, whatever is your way of getting motivation inside your daily life, that's what's gonna help you. That's what's gonna cause you to move forward. And like I said, this list so far is absolutely 100% free, $0. It costs you literally nothing to make out these swaps, all right? Now we have 2 more, we're gonna keep it going, and I promise you the last one is gonna surprise you. All right, fam, the next one is gonna be sleep. Now I know it kind of relates to the activity, but sleep is also something that is in your control. And in other words, rest. In other words, you know, rest days, if you're going to the gym and you're absolutely just draining yourself and you're stressing yourself out with workouts, with diet, and with just your overall lifestyle, rest is needed, okay? So if you're not getting the proper rest, you're not gonna get the proper results that you want. Your body is not gonna be able to function and actually do the things that you needed to do because it's stressed out and because you don't have enough rest, okay? So sleep is something that you can control. And that can be as easy as going to bed 30 to maybe an hour earlier before your normal bedtime. So if you're trying to go to bed at 10 p.m., then you actually want to be laying down no later than 9 or 9:15 p.m. I know for myself, I do have some time and some trouble every now and then falling asleep. So if I lay down by, let's say 8 p.m., I won't be actually dead asleep until maybe 8:20. So it does take me some time, and that honestly can be better. I can maybe hop off social media right before I go to bed because I know that plays a huge part, and I can actually implement more of a winding down routine, all right? Just to help me fall asleep better, just to help me get the proper amount of rest and sleep good throughout the night without any complications, okay? So sleep is something that's in your control. Sleep is something that is very underrated. So that's a swap that I put on here that is gonna cost you, like I said, $0. If you're up late at night scrolling, then it's really not gonna give you any benefits, and you're gonna be ultimately stuck in the same spot. And we don't want that, all right? So that's number 4. Let's move on to number 5. All right, fam, the last one, the most important probably of them all, is accountability and or community, okay? When you have accountability, you are not gonna fail. When you have a community, you are not gonna be left alone. So this last one is absolutely insanely important, and I can't stress it enough, all right? When you have these locked in, when you have these on your fitness journey, your results are almost guaranteed, right? You are not gonna be able to cheat on your diets, you are not gonna be able to skip the gym, and you are not gonna be able to go out and do the habits that you're trying to get away from, all right? Once you have an accountability partner, or once you have an accountability person like a coach to help you see the results, then that absolutely changes everything, right? When you have people that have been in your shoes, when you have a community that uplifts you and that shares their experiences with you, it absolutely changes everything, okay? So I know this last one is very huge, but having a coach is extremely important as well. But that can kind of tie into the accountability and the community. So I'm gonna leave that there for the last one. If I had to rank this list from most important to least important, then this is how I would rate it, and I'm gonna share it with you right now. So number 1, I would have accountability. That's number 1 right there. No one is gonna tell you, oh, you're doing good, don't worry about it. Like, you need that person to tell you when you're messing up. So number 1 is gonna be accountability. That is huge. All right, number 2, sleep. That's crazy, right? You'd probably be surprised. Sleep is actually huge. When you sleep, like I said, long enough, your body performs the way it needs to be. You're able to be actually alert and awake throughout the day. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but you will also have less stress when you get enough rest, okay? So the more rest, the less stress. So that's number 2. And number 3, I believe, is going to be drinks and diet, right? We mentioned specifically 0-calorie drinks. We mentioned a little bit of diet and how the average American just eats whatever they want, whatever they're kind of fed. And that's gonna be number 3, because without the right diet, you won't see any results, okay? So that's number 3. And number 4 is going to be after work routine activity, bad energy. Man, you know, bad energy is pretty huge. So I'm gonna rank that as number 4. Bad energy, bad people, just bad vibes all the way around. We don't want that, right? We wanna be in a good mood. We wanna have people around us that uplift us and that are not always complaining. So bad energy is number 4. It is pretty important. And the last one, number 5, is going to be that after work routine, that activity, whether that's going to a park after work and doing a quick walk or a jog, or in the mornings before you wake up and before you start your day, you can get some movement, whether that's going on a treadmill or whether that's simply walking around your house, doing push-ups in your bedroom. You know, there's different things that you can do to make yourself more active, all right? So that's number 5. And that's the simple basics of this list and the simple swaps that you can start making to see results in your fitness, in your lifestyle, in your weight loss, and ultimately in your health. This is the list right here. If you want to screenshot it, go ahead, save the video, share it with a friend, share it with somebody who's actually trying to go to that next level. I'm here on Instagram pretty much every day, posting twice a day, or at least trying to. So if you want more videos like this, feel free to drop a like, subscribe. It will help me sleep a lot better at night. So that's it for this training. Let me know what y'all are struggling with the most in the comments, and I'll be sure to make a video on it. Peace.